Okay, let me just get Anna in here really quick. I gotta let her in. And the Zoom, let's see. Okay, so Anna's in here, we're recording, we're ready.
All right, so I will call the meeting to order for the October library board agenda. All right, so we are called to order, so I'll take a quick roll here. Barb,
Present.
Jen,
Here.
Anna,
Here.
you. Hard for me to see you up there. Oh, no, I see Jandy, and Jandy is here.
I'm here.
And Michael will not be here. So we are a quorum, so we have a meeting. All right, so, at this point in time, I'll take a motion to approve, the minutes and the agenda. Unless there is changes to the
There is a
agenda.
change.
Okay, I'll take,
To the minutes, if you drop down to, it says business. Quarterly report to council, it says Barb Hamlin.
Oh.
says what?
It says Barb Hamlin.
Oh, okay, well, that could be yeah, that might need to be adjusted.
I do not know how that happened. I swear I looked at that name 4 times.
That is funny. Okay, that.
The rest of it.
Okay, so that change is noted. So, take a motion to approve now.
So moved.
Mm,
Was that change?
Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes and the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, and Jandy, I'll ask, well, I'll just say, we're now at citizen comments. Do we have anybody online? If we don't, you can still give us the rundown on what the procedure is.
We have citizen comment at the beginning and the end of each meeting. You can have up to 3 minutes to speak on any topic for the board. And if we have need to get, we're able to get back with you if we have any questions or answers. But I don't have anyone in chambers or online at this time. We'll see if there's anyone at the end of the meeting.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so we're moving on quickly, and so now we are to the city administrator report, and that is Mark McAvoy.
So I think later in the meeting, Jandy's gonna walk you through some of the budget related items, so I'm gonna let her guide that. I think the only thing I would have to update the group on is just a reminder, and we've talked about this at a couple of previous council meetings. We are getting ready to launch a new resident request system. This would be similar to a 311 system that you may be familiar with in other communities. It's just for non-emergency work-related kinds of things. And so there will be at least 3 categories of things that are library-related in this system. So if you are interested in getting information about reserving a room or any of those kinds of things, and then maybe some maintenance-related items for the facility itself, those will be available to make requests on once this launches. And it'll be accompanied by some high-level, what I would call training material, like little video vignette kinds of things on how to use this. And so probably mid next week, this will hit the airwaves and people will be able to start logging requests. And that'll give us much better, not only ability to manage workflows, but see who's requesting what when. So we can see trends and make sure that we're responding in a timely way with the right fix at the right time. So this will be a fundamental improvement to the way that we do it now.
Do you get back to people
Yes.
once it's fixed?
So you can, there's like a 24, 48, or 72 hour response for each of the items. So if one comes to the library, it's gonna go to Michaela. And so you can request information on the reading room, getting added to like a program for kids. And then there's like a more general category where basically people can text us questions and then it'll go to our email so we can respond to them.
this is not a system though for them to register for events and stuff at the library.
No, so like,
Okay.
we probably would not go in there and like, oh, can I get your name and phone number to register you for a program? We would send them a link to where they need to go to, or give them, general information on, oh, this is how you go about reserving a meeting room. If they have a specific question, we can answer that.
So Barb, to zoom out on your question a little bit, taking it out of the context of the library, say you make a request because you see a pothole in the street or something like that.
Sprinkler's broken.
Yeah, something like that. So you would put the information with the details of that in there, and it would start what is called a workflow in the system that has automatic things that happen and notifies the right people. But part of that workflow includes messaging back to the requester that we've received it, and then when whatever action is taken to correct it, you would receive a notice saying it's been corrected.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
Okay, thank you, Mark. All right, so now we are on to the Friends group. And, since Barbara and I attend the Friends group, I'll have her weigh in on anything I might have left out. Okay, well then, I'll leave out a lot of stuff then.
And I won't know.
And you won't have, an idea. Anyway, so the Friends, they're at that point of the year where they are, working on establishing, officers for the new year. That'll be brought up at the next meeting and voted on in November. They're also working hard on their next fundraiser, which is the, book sale. And there are a bunch of books, and that'll also be in November. I believe it's the Friday before, Friday and Saturday before Thanksgiving. I don't have.
I
the
have
dates in my head. You have the
Quick
dates?
question for you, Brad. Did
Yes.
you say working on establishing office roles? Is that what you said?
Officers.
Officers, okay, so I didn't hear, thank you.
Yeah, sure. So that's what
The
the,
21st,
could be,
let's see.
I'm not, I guess I could look it up.
November 21st and 22nd.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday.
So that would be the book sale.
Yes.
And, again, they have tons of books they're going through and preparing and getting ready for that. Other than that, they are just busy, working on, a new fundraiser. Instead of it being a fundraiser, they're calling it a funraiser, F-U-N, which a trivia night that will occur in January, and it'll be a Liberty Lake Trivia Night Challenge Championship. So whoever wins the trivia night will be, anointed as the Liberty Lake Trivia Champions. So, should be a fun night. It'll be at the trailhead. Chavalitas will be providing the food, and if you haven't, experienced their food yet, I encourage you to do so. It's excellent, and they've done a great job of, preparing that space. So that's what's going on with the Friends.
Yeah, the idea behind the fundraiser was that it would be marketed towards families instead of the soiree, which is like an adults only event.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really fun. Can I add one thing about the Friends?
Of course.
In your packet today, you have a black magazine. And this is something I wanted to show you, and this is something that the Friends sponsored and purchased for the library. It is a magazine of all the new titles that have come out or will come out during the month of October. So we have a subscription to Bookpage, and they send us to the library every month. And it's something we've been handing out at the front desk, and we have it on our new bookshelf. And people have been taking these. They've been going really well. And it just gives people more ideas of new books that they might be interested in reading. It is marketed more towards adults, but it does have kids' books in here as well. And so it's just something fun that I wanted to show you guys that the Friends have been sponsoring. for us, and it's been going really well as far as patrons taking it. We've been tracking how many of them go each month so that we know how well it's doing.
Jenny, could you also share a little bit of some of the other programs that the Friends have helped with and provided for the library to
Yes.
offer to our community?
Yes, so the Friends sponsor the Mobius Museum Pass, which is the kids' children's museum. The North Museum Arts and Culture Pass, which is for families as well to go to the MAC. And then they sponsor our summer reading program, our big program where we bring in a performer for the kids at the beginning of the summer. This last year, it was the Reptile Man. So they sponsor that for us. And then they usually sponsor the library Halloween party, which is big. That's coming up in October. The theme this year is Wicked. So they usually sponsor, like purchase the activities and the candy and that sort of thing. And then they usually volunteer at that event. And that's another big one. And then they'll usually sponsor a lot of Michaela's artists that she brings in or different speakers. So it kind of changes each year, but that's the big main things that they sponsor for the library, which is wonderful. So I am working with them this month. In October, I'll meet with the Friends Budget Committee at the end of the month to request my amount for the next year and get that approved with them.
Yeah, they
Yes.
provide a lot of opportunities for, especially children in our community.
Yes.
I think, did you say symphony already?
Symphony, that's the one I forgot. Yes, it's a huge one. In
I
the
just,
spring,
that was great.
they sponsor 3 different symphony nights. And the symphony matches it, so we get 20 tickets, and then they match it with another 20 tickets. So residents are able to sign up for, I think, up to 4 tickets for the symphony, so that's a big one, thank you, that I forgot.
Well, I've heard most of those anyway, but yeah. So yeah, it's great. All those opportunities are there for our citizens to take advantage of. So that is the Friends. And now we're on to Jandy's report.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through a few things that I have here in your packet, and then we'll move on to the budget. So I just did the Book Page magazine. The next one is this Inland Share Library Group, little bookmark that I brought for you guys to see. So as of October 1st, we have officially launched the Inland Share Library Group. If you turn it over on the back, it has a picture of the logo. And you see it says Inland Share, a library of libraries, and it has a little bunny with a book. And librarians love puns. And so if you notice, it has a bunny because we're Inland Share, like a hare. So that's where Christopher came up with our little mascot, which is a bunny rabbit hare. So, yes, we love puns as librarians. So if you turn it over, it shows all of the libraries that we are incorporated with. So there's several of them there. The 2 that are missing are Community Library Network and Benawa, which are the 2 systems that chose not to continue with Inland Share. So we've been passing these out at the front desk. And then the logo, our little bunny rabbit, we've been putting little stickers on everyone's library cards when they come in that have the new little logo on them. Of course, we do have new library cards that have like this full logo, and it kind of has this green and brown background with it. And I didn't want to give out like 8,000 of those to all of our residents, so we're starting with a sticker. And then as people come in for new library cards, they'll get a new Inland Share library card. What we've done in the past is when people's cards expire after 2 years, we'll switch them out with the new card. So it'll be kind of more of a slow rollout. And of course, if people want to keep the library card that they have, they can. But yeah, that's the Inland Share Library Group stuff. So we were closed on Monday and Tuesday last week for, so that we could kind of move all of the software over. Our checkouts and that sort of thing weren't working. So the end of this last week was really busy. Everything's going really well with our Koha software and that sort of thing. We're just still having to go through all of our different subscriptions that we have to various databases. We have to kind of change the numbering with the library cards to make sure it'll authenticate for everyone. So that's something that we still are working on with our IT and Inland Share, but everything's going pretty smoothly so far.
Jandy?
Yes,
Back to this?
Yes.
Libby?
yes, that's
So
the
you
next
add-
piece.
Oh, okay.
So as part of Inland Share, we have a subscription to Libby. Our residents have access to two different libraries. So they have access to Washington Anytime Libraries because we have that from the state library. And then they have access to our CIN, I guess now our Inland Share Library Group, Libby page. With Idaho, during COVID, Idaho libraries formed this IDEA contract where basically anyone who wanted to could join this group and give people access to more Libby libraries. And so this is something that we've started promoting. So basically, these are several libraries that have joined the IDEA network. And so basically patrons can go in and add these libraries to their Libby accounts. And so basically, the more libraries you add, the more books you're able to search and the more books you're able to access. So this is something we've just started promoting recently. Since we are a part of Inland Share, we do have access to these Idaho libraries. So it basically just gives you access to more digital resources. And when you search on Libby, it will search automatically all these other libraries, which is really nice. It used to, you had to individually search them, which can be really annoying if you're like searching Harry Potter in like 12 different libraries. So they have upgraded it now so you can search all of these libraries. So it's not something that I think every patron is gonna wanna do, go in and add their library card 12 times. But for those people who really enjoy Libby, and maybe that's all they read is ebooks or audiobooks, they can add these individual libraries and just have access to more digital resources. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
great,
Pretty cool.
because I use it
Yes,
all the time.
yes.
And
And they were
lots of
telling
times
me,
if the wait list is
yes,
incredible
yes.
for some popular things, so it'd be nice to be able to add a few other libraries. I mean, they probably have long wait lists too.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising how many people assume because it's digital that they have, that, you know, you have unlimited copies. And that's not the case. We have a limited number of copies because, you know, they're so expensive to purchase. So it's nicer when there's more libraries to kind of spread the wealth with. So that's something that we've just been recently promoting. We have these up at the front desk for people to take, and we've been promoting it with some of our patrons that we know use Libby a lot as well.
Cool.
So that's the stuff that I had in your packet, other than, our bookmarks. This week is banned book week at the library. And so we have bookmarks and then displays with different titles of books that have been banned. And that's something, of course, that we're celebrating this week at the library is intellectual freedom and access to materials.
And just to clarify, that's a national week.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so normally it's in September. This year it's in October and it's a national week. The week of October 7th.
Right.
So, yes. Okay. The next thing I have for you guys is the budget. I'm gonna pull it up on my screen, but I think I did give you guys a copy of that to look at with tiny font. So there are two pieces to this. And I meant to pull up the other one first, so give me 1 second. Okay, it's loading, okay. So on your screen, you're gonna see Resource X. And this is part of the city's priority-based budgeting, which is kind of budgeting more broadly and not getting so into the line items. So with the library, we have 3 programs. You'll see them up here. We have library circulation, which is everything circulation related from books that we check out, ordering of our materials. It includes things like reader's advisory, our computer checkouts, everything circulation related that we do at the library and the cost associated with that. So as you can see, because it's, you know, our primary function at the library, it's our highest cost program. And so this includes, you know, how much we spend on books, how much we spend on upgrading our computers, and then how much we spend also on staff time. So obviously circulation is a huge part of our budget, and so that's what our staff spends the most time doing. So we wanted to give the council and the community a bigger picture of where their money's going and not get so down into the weeds of like, this is how much we're spending on, you know, forks or whatever it is. For the library, how much we're spending on glitter, you know? It gives them a broader view of where their money's going. So with the library, we have 3 programs. Our second program is, of course, called Library Programs. How many times can you say the word program? And this is how much money we spend putting on programs at the library. So like I said, this is including staff time. We're not spending $108,000 on story time specifically, but this includes all of our story time programs, our teen programs, our after-school programs for kids, our summer reading program, everything like that.
So does that figure represent the staff
Yes,
and their time
yes, so
that they
staff,
spend with those programs?
yes,
Got it.
yes, so it's our staff and their time. And then obviously our materials are incorporated into that as well. But the primary expense with that is staff time. You know, you're paying Michaela and Aaron basically their full salary to put on our programs. And then the last program is our library meeting space. Obviously, reserving meeting rooms is like a huge part of what we do at the library, providing those resources to our community. We're providing them with free meeting spaces where they can meet. And so that is things like building maintenance, staff time. Obviously that isn't a program that costs us a lot of time to put on. It's just the software to facilitate it. Obviously having kind of a little bit of staff in the building to, you know, make sure everything's good and golden. But those are our 3 main programs that we have for the library. If you notice, there are some other tallies down here, and these are other ways that staff spend time throughout their day. So obviously we have some accounts payable, receivable with ordering materials, invoices, that sort of thing. Records management, professional development, going to conferences. So our travel budget and our training budget are roped into there. And then, you know, IT and building maintenance.
So is, Jen, is that 13,000, is that for all employees for professional development?
So what that has is it has my training budget in there. It has our travel budget in there. And then it has, yes, any additional trainings that we do as a staff. So like I have a software that I provide, and the name is escaping me, but yeah, that's professional development for all of my staff. We'll do trainings at the library a couple times a year, and then we do have like conferences and trainings that some of my staff go to as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious if that's enough for training.
It has been so far. You'll notice I did up our training budget for next year. So you'll see that in a minute in my other spreadsheet that I'll be showing you guys.
Okay, one last question.
Yes,
I noticed when you click on there, I see something that says least aligned, most aligned.
yes.
Could you kind of
Yeah.
help us understand what that means, what it's aligned with?
So
Least aligned with?
basically, we went through all of the programs for all of the city staff. And then we went through our strategic plan and what our strategic priorities are for the year for the city as a whole. And then we rated each program on how aligned it was with the strategic plan all the way to the least aligned.
Okay, and this is the strategic plan for the city or just for the library?
For the city.
Okay, got it, thank you.
Yes. So we looked at what the demand is for these programs. We looked at, you know, is it mandated, which the library is. It's a self-mandate by the city to have a library. How much of the population is served. Obviously the library has really good statistics on how many patrons we have and that sort of thing. So that's something we're really aligned with. Quality of life and connectedness. Obviously that's something that the library aligns really well with. Public safety, economic growth and vibrancy, planned growth and infrastructure, and then public service, I think is the last one. Public service excellence. So basically, we rated how well each of our programs align with the city's strategic priorities.
So what's the bar indicate? How far out? What does that indicate?
So I think does it align, is it how well aligned we are, Mark?
Cause I'm just curious.
Public service, very short bar. I'm kind of wondering, I mean.
Oh, I think it's public safety. Oh, and then public service has something to do with the governance.
Yeah, so one thing to keep in mind, when you're looking particularly at this view, these are, relative, numbers. So Jandy, if you would hover over the portion of the bar on, planned growth and infrastructure.
Yes.
And so, Brad, if you see those numbers.
Yes.
Sorry, Mark's trying to look at it, little teeny tiny screen. Am I hovering over the wrong spot?
No, so
Okay.
what you would see there is those, none, minor, some, strong, extreme. In that particular strategic priority, the entire budget of the library is allocated across programs, and you see that the sum alignment, it's aligned as, so in other words, $636,000 of the library budget is at least somewhat aligned with planned growth and infrastructure. Jandy, if you go to quality of life, you'll see the breakdown against.
Is strong, $658,000
Right.
is strongly aligned with the library's commitment to be, improving quality of life.
So in other words, what this is telling you is that, 658,000, if that's the number,
Yeah.
is strongly aligned with our priority of quality of life.
Mhm.
And so you would figure out what that split is for each of those priorities. Public service excellence is, a governance priority instead of a community priority. And really all that means is that it's an internally focused priority. And so the budget that you're gonna see there is gonna be mostly the, accounts payable, payroll, IT, that kind of stuff that you saw in that previous view.
Doesn't really affect the public, but obviously as a staff person, you want those. Those are strongly aligned with you. Yes.
That makes sense. Thanks.
Thank you.
So this is something we talked about a little bit with council last year on, because it was a new program that we were piloting. And so this is something that's going to be incorporated a little bit more into the budget this year. So I wanted to give you guys a peek at that as well. So moving on to, our line item budget. I wanted to give you guys a view of this as well. I have it in front of you so you can see. It's in your packet behind the strategic plan, so you can see it in more detail. And it just shows, the amount of money that we're spending on salaries for the year. Moving on down to the library supplies, how much we're spending in office supplies. Children's and adult program supplies, so how much we're spending on programming. Our programming is heavily supplemented by the Friends of the Library group. They usually give me about $7,500 a year. So if you look at that number, it is closer to $20,000 a year on what we're spending for those. Professional services, so this includes, anything professional that we're doing, like our copy machine. It also includes our, courier, who brings our books from the other libraries twice a week. So that's a huge part of that budget. Software maintenance and databases. This is something I wanted to mention to you guys a little bit more detailed. So this includes all of our databases, like Canopy Streaming, Mango Languages. Those were 2 new databases that we purchased last year, and the results that we're getting from those databases has been phenomenal. We are quadrupling our database participation each month, and it's from those 2 databases specifically. So that's something I'm going to be continuing next year. There isn't an increase in those, like it won't cost us more to do it for another year, but that's something I've been really pleased with. The thing that I'm looking at adding for next year is an email newsletter platform. So right now for our newsletter, we don't send it out to people. We just post it on our website and we post it on our Facebook page. I wanted to have a way that we could formally email newsletters out or other information about the library. So I'm looking at purchasing a email newsletter platform, which would host obviously everyone's email in it. Some people also use Substack, which is something you could just subscribe to. It will be something that patrons can opt into. We won't just like start spamming them. It'll be something they can opt into if they want to sign up for it. But that would give us the ability to send out information about the library on a more regular basis and reach more of our users. So that's something I'm looking at for next year. The other thought I had with that is Michael had brought up, letting patrons know when we've updated our library policies. And so I thought that's a way we could do that as well easily, is, you know, you'll usually get emails from Google or anywhere that's like, hey, we updated our terms and service. This is a way that we could do that really easily, is letting them know these are the policies that we've recently updated. If you want more information, you can click here to this. So that's another easy way that we could do that. Let's see, so, we don't really have any increases to our, you know, internet postage. I did a small increase to our travel budget for next year. Books and other materials down here on the bottom. Our Washington Anytime subscription went up about $1,500, so there is an increase for that. As you guys know, digital materials cost a lot of money and they just keep going up each year. So it didn't go up extensively for us. It's only $1,500. But that is why I increased our book budget for next year. We did a lot larger increase last year in 2025. Our book budget went up like $12,000. So I'm comfortable on where it is for books right now. It's just our digital subscriptions that we needed to do a small increase for that budget. And then I am putting a little bit more money into our library trainings budget for next year. We recently, last year, we purchased the Ryan Dowd library trainings, and it includes information on like homelessness training, mental health training, as well as things like customer service. And it's been really wonderful. So we're going to be purchasing that again for next year. I've been having staff do quarterly trainings with that, and I think that's something that's really helped. And they are really wonderful on updating their trainings and adding new trainings all the time. I just like it because it's specifically to libraries. It's not just like customer service for anybody. It's all the trainings are specific to libraries, which I think is really helpful for our staff. And the people that are putting on the trainings are aware of what's going on in libraries.
Is it
So,
on demand?
yes.
So you don't have to schedule only when somebody on the East Coast or wherever.
No, yes. So they do, I think it's once a month, they do like a live training that you can sign in for. And then they record that, so you can go back and watch it later. But the majority of it is on demand. And they have really great handouts and worksheets with it, which has been really helpful. So if you remember in April, we did a staff training day. And we were able to do it like all as a group and then stop and talk about different things that we noticed from the training. My staff really enjoyed that. So that's something I'm planning to do again, hopefully in December. But yes, it has really helpful kind of worksheets with little tips and tricks and stuff that is helpful. I don't know about you, but for me, it's like helpful to watch something and then have something to refer back to. So I've been really impressed with it. The last thing I wanted to go over is just our capital expenditures. So this is for things within the library, not larger like a building. This is just stuff within the physical library. I just wanted to make that distinction. Just so you didn't look at the number and say, it only has $19,000, it should have a different number. So this is my big things that I'm requesting for next year. So one of the things I'm looking at is a Chromebooks and a laptop charging cart. So as you know, we only have 4 computers in the library right now, and we've been struggling with having enough machines for people throughout the day. We are also looking at reducing our time limit. So right now, patrons can log onto the computer for 2 hours, and we're going to be reducing that down to 1 hour with the possibility to extend. But we've been really struggling with having way more people that want to use the computer than there's time. And people will come in and it's like, oh, when is the next machine available? And you have to say like an hour and a half. Like nobody wants to wait an hour and a half. So we thought if we reduce it to 1 hour, it's more likely that we can say, hey, a computer will be available in 15 minutes. So that's one way we want to combat that. Another way is by getting all of my educators will know, a laptop cart. So a small kind of desk-sized one that'll have 5 Chromebooks in it. And it's something where we could hand a patron a Chromebook and they could go sit somewhere in the library and use a laptop, if that's something that they're interested in using. So that's another way we're just trying to combat having enough, machines to go around. And then, yes,
Why did you choose Chromebooks? Is that what Central Valley uses for their kids?
I think that is what they use for their kids.
Okay.
Not exclusively, but most of our one-to-one in Central Valley are Chromebooks. They're pretty affordable, pretty student friendly. And they have a little bit of a shorter shelf life than a laptop, but they are also a little bit easier to get up and running than a laptop. So it's a pretty cost-effective way to get technology, useful technology to people.
I was just curious.
I just thought it was like an affordable, ready to go kind of
Yeah,
laptop.
well, at
So-
WSU,
Yes,
we,
hate Chromebooks.
no, when we started the medical school, we looked at everything and decided to use iPads.
Oh,
And they last a really long time. And we ended up just selecting that, and then we worked with Apple. They gave us a screaming deal on one, so we could buy one for every student. And so I was just curious, partly because of my experience of all this, research we had to do.
yes, the main feedback I got when I brought this up to staff was making sure that we have, mouses for them as well.
Okay.
Because a lot of patrons, particularly older patrons, don't like the touchpad.
Yeah.
So that was the big thing that staff said was if we're gonna do this, we need to have like a mouse as well and not just depend on keyboard.
Okay.
So, yeah,
It seems like one more thing to break.
I know. At least they're inexpensive.
Or
Yes.
yes, I don't know. It was just, I'm sure you've done your research. I was just curious, and it seems to me like the smart thing to do would be to use whatever Central Valley uses for most of their students, because I'm guessing
People are more familiar with it.
people are used to that.
Right.
Yes. The other thing that we're looking at, as far as computers is, as you guys know, like right outside my office, we have 2, catalog machines where people can look up books on the library catalog. We are looking at turning one of those catalog machines into a 30-minute print station. So we have a lot of patrons that come in and they just need to print something. We do have a mobile app that people can print from. But that's one of the other frustrations is that they'll come up and they're like, hey, I need to use the computer. And we're like, okay, well, it's an hour and a half. And they'll say, I just need to print this UPS label. So a lot of the times what we'll say is like, hey, if you want, you can email it to me and I'll print it off right here on our library computer. Or we'll offer them the app. But some people just don't want to deal with that. They just like, I want to be able to just log on, print it myself and go. So that's something that we're looking at is turning one of our catalog machines into like a 30-minute station where people can just do something really quick. Like, oh, I just need to really quickly check my email, or I just need to quickly print something. And then they're not waiting in a line of 2-hour machines. So that's something else that we're looking at. As you guys know, we just have limited space where we can add more desktops. Because I think ideally that would be the response, is just add more desktops. Because like I'm saying, there's a lot of people who are like, I don't want to have to deal with a touchpad. I want to just have the machine set up and ready to go. So that's one of the drawbacks that we're seeing with laptops. But we're just trying to figure out creative ways to give more access and not have such long wait times for people.
Thanks. I didn't
That's a
mean to
good idea.
derail you.
Oh, no, you're totally fine.
Good question.
I
So
like iPads.
I don't, but that's fine.
But anyway,
we're just trying to consider basically all the avenues, because a lot of the people that are using our machines don't have a machine at home, so they're not as familiar with technology and they want everything set up and ready to go and easy. So
that makes sense.
we'll see how it goes. that's basically what I had to share about the budget. Do you guys have any other questions or concerns?
Nice work, Jenny. It's a lot of work to put that all together.
Yes.
And, yeah, Mark.
So, I'll pitch in, just to use the opportunity to, provide some additional context, because we're gonna count on all of our commission members in some way, to help us kind of, communitize this information. So, yeah, so, and Jandy knows this, but, sometimes I have trouble pronouncing words. And other times I have trouble remembering the word I'm looking for, so I just make up words on the spot, so.
That's a great one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and so what you're seeing is the line item budget for the library, and it's fairly concise, right? So if you were talking with someone, it may not be all that difficult to kind of visualize what the library is trying to accomplish by using this line item budget. But when you then expand that, throughout the rest of the city, and you have thousands of line items over, you know, a dozen, funds that are active in 7 or 8 departments, you get these permutations of things. It really becomes ununderstandable in a short period of time. You just can't have a conversation with somebody at a coffee shop and then walk out with an understanding, right?
Right.
And so Jenny, if you go back to the visual from Resource
Resource
X
X.
that you had,
Yes.
with the priorities listed, one of the main advantages of using this organization, is that, for example, each one of these priorities, that we're tying or allocating some of these funds to, we now have the ability to say, from a library perspective, Jamie, and if you would go back to the library specific programs that you showed earlier with the allocations there. For example, library circulation has X dollars allocated to it, which is a pretty high percentage of the overall bottom line budget. But regardless, you've got this amount of dollars allocated to it. We now say, from a performance perspective or from a return on investment perspective, the result we expect to produce with that level of investment are these results. And the results that we have for this particular program are things like circulation materials are trending upward over time. Patron issuance of cards is trending upward over time, that kind of thing.
Visitors at the library training up.
Yes, those kinds of things. And
Yes.
so then the measures behind those that we show in our reporting proves whether that result is being borne out or not. So then that gives us some insight as to whether we need to change this level of investment or do different things to execute so that we are affecting those results. And so then over time, the community gets to see, for this level of investment, these are the results that the city produced. Do I like that or not? Do I want to ask for a different outcome or not? And so we end up having discussions about value versus what am I getting for $750 of paid family and medical leave? Right? Nobody can answer that question, right? But here we get to have actual results-based, evidence-supported value conversations about services and return on investment. So that's one of the biggest advantages of using a system like this.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I agree with that. All right, Jenny, is there anything else on the budget?
I don't have anything else on the budget for you guys. I know budget discussions with the city will start at the beginning of November.
All right, so now we are on to the strategic planning. I'll let you just tell us what your intent in that. I have a couple things I'd like to bring up, but go ahead.
So basically, you have in front of you a copy of the library strategic plan, and you will notice at the top it has the dates. And I thought the dates were 2020 to 2025, and they are 2020 to 2024. So our strategic plan is needing an update, and I thought it was needing an update now, but it was needing an update a little bit earlier. So I'm hoping to solicit some help from the board, maybe 2 members who can work on this a little bit in detail, more detail with me and Michaela. And then obviously we would bring it back to the larger group to adopt. I'm hoping, next year, maybe in March, April timeframe, is something for the whole board to adopt. Thankfully, we have done 2 different surveys out to our community. We did one in August 2024, and then this year in August 2025. So we have some really recent feedback that I think will be extremely valuable as we go through and develop what our strategic plan is for the next 5 years.
So, Jandy, when would you like to start, working on the plan?
Later this month, I was hoping to have a meeting, with the board members and then myself and Michaela. And then kind of identify, some other maybe community groups that might, want to play a part in this as well.
Did the Friends help last time?
Yes, so, last time we did this process with our, what was it called? Our consultant, who went through and did the community assessment. So this was a part of that project.
Right.
So we did have members of we did a working group with some members of the Friends, some community members, the library board, some staff, because I know I was involved with it last time.
So, we don't want to get too big.
No, of course not.
We don't want,
Yeah.
because then you have
Yes,
too much, but.
yes, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'd like to be involved in this one, but
I would be happy to do it as well.
Okay,
And if something happens. and
If,
you guys can't do it, or you want another
Oh.
set of advice, I'll be happy to do it.
yeah,
So-
same.
the other way to do it is, this, I don't know if Jandy wants to do this or not, but we could have everybody calls it a retreat, doesn't have to be a retreat, but a board, special gathering, we'd have to call it a meeting.
yes,
And we could have this as the only item of discussion and, thing, so that's either
Maybe down the road.
down the road, maybe, after we have,
Maybe once there's a
after
rough draft.
after it's proposed or something.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Good idea.
I think that's a good idea if we put something together and then talk about it as a larger group.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
okay. So I'll reach out to Brad and Jennifer, about scheduling a time that we can all sit down and go through this.
Come up with a day that works for you,
Yes,
the best, because you've got lots of things going on, and I've talked with, I can fit probably most everything in there, and Jen also has some things she has to work around too, so if you guys work on a date, I'll fit myself in.
okay,
Okay,
sounds great.
all right, so we got that, we're good.
And then the last thing that does not have to do with the strategic plan, remember last meeting Lisa came for a visit to talk about the capital facilities, 20-year capital facilities plan.
Right.
And she's looking for 2 volunteers from the board who might be interested in serving on that committee. You guys remember?
What's the time commitment?
She said a meeting before Thanksgiving and then a meeting in January is what they have on the docket so far. You guys don't have to give me an answer now. I can forward you out the email that she sent with the details.
That'd be
And then you
great.
guys can take a look over it and let me know if you're interested in, helping out with that.
That'd be good.
Yeah, so I'll
Thank
send
you.
you her email that have all the details on it.
Did you hear that, Anna?
Yes,
I
Okay.
did, yes.
Okay, good. I feel like I'm leaving you out a lot because you're up there. So
I know, and I'm even further. I'm in Kansas City, so not only am I not there, I am physically not there.
Well, then you're out there.
I am in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, well, I appreciate you, you getting, even if it's through a bunch of, well, microwaves. To get here. All right, so Jandy, do we have anything else about the strategic plan?
no, that's everything I have for today.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions for Jandy? Okay, anybody have anything good for the good of the order? No,
And I have no one, in chambers or on Zoom. for
nobody,
this.
so we don't have any citizen comments to ask for. So I will say, we are adjourned.
Great.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.